Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this another session of PMP, explaining you certain tools and techniques of PMP. For today, we would be looking at earned value analysis. And again, this session is brought to you by PMP Mad Easy. So go ahead, subscribe to the channel. We also have a Telegram group. If you want to join, do join. The members there are very helpful, and you would find the group very resourceful. So without any further delay, what is earned value analysis? Earned value analysis is just a project control tool that is used for project status and project forecast reporting. So what that means is that while you are in the execution phase of the project and the project is going on, you are doing certain activities and you still have to do certain activities. So earned value analysis is a good tool which can help you make forecast of what the future project cost would be, or how much work is done to that date and how much work still needs to be done in the future. And it's used definitely during the execution phase, but it's specifically used in the monitoring and control phase of the project. The data is gathered in the execution phase, but the reporting and the analysis and the calculations are done in the project monitoring and control phase. And again, there is just a fine line between where the execution phase stops and where the monitoring and control phase starts. Majority of the times, they're both there's certain mutually exclusive, they're mutually inclusive, and at times there are different teams who gather data and a separate team that analyzes data. But irrespective, it is used in the project monitoring and control phase, and it is a tool that primarily focuses on the cost and schedule management part of the PMP. You can use it to gather status on the cost and the schedule of the project, and also make future forecasting based on today's data. So they're primarily used for cost and schedule management. Now, there are a few key terms that you need to remember while doing earned value analysis. The first one being the planned value. The planned value is nothing but the budgeted value, the value of the work that has to be completed at that particular date. So for instance, let's assume that there are 10 cars to be built in 8 weeks, and each of them costs around $10,000 to be built. So the planned value for at the end of the project should be $100,000, because each car we are planning to build each car for $10,000. So towards the end of the project, the planned value to the end of the project at week 8 should be $100,000. Similarly, there is something called earned value. Earned value is the actual value of the work that you have completed so far. The planned value is the planned work that has to be completed at that point. Earned value is the actual value of the work that is completed at that point. So again, for instance, our planning was to build in 8 weeks 10 cars, but at the end of 8 weeks we were only be able to build 8 cars. So our earned value is $80,000. So our earned value is $80,000, and there is something called actual cost, the total expenditure of the work performed till that point. So now let's assume that the car were not built at $10,000, but instead they took more than $10,000. So you, at the end of the week 8, we were able to build 8 cars for $90,000. Instead of $80,000, we were able to build it for $90,000. So these are the 3 key terms that you need to remember: planned value, earned value, actual cost. Planned value is the planned amount, the budgeted amount at that point. Earned value is the amount of value earned till that point. And actual cost is the amount of money actually spent till that point. So just without using any formulas, let's see where we are at in this scenario. So 10 cars were supposed to be built in 8 weeks, but however, we were only be able to build 8 cars. So definitely that means that we need more time to build the rest of the 2 cars. So hence we know that we are behind the schedule. Similarly, we were supposed to build 8 cars for $80,000, but instead we spent $90,000 to build them. Hence we are over budget. Now, it's very simple when I put it this way, but we have to be more methodical and geeky about it. What I mean is there are formulas that we need to know to make sure or to come up with a conclusion that if the project is ahead of schedule or behind schedule or on schedule, or if the cost is over budget, under budget, or at budget. So we use formulas which are, again, very simple. So first is the cost variance, which is just the variation in cost, and that's earned value minus actual cost. The earned value is $80,000 because we just built 8 cars and our planned cost was $10,000 per car, but we spent $90,000 to build those 10 cars. So we have a cost variance of minus $10,000. So that means that for the same amount of work, we took $10,000 more to do that. A work that was supposed to be done for $80,000 instead took us $90,000. So you can fairly say that when CV is greater than 0, the project is under budget. When CV is positive, project is under budget. When CV is at 0, the project is at budget. And when CV is less than 0, project is over budget, which in this case, CV was less than 0, hence it was over budget. Similarly, you can use CPI, which is cost performance index, to infer if the cost is under, over, or at budget. The formula here, again, is very simple, which is earned value upon actual cost, $80,000 divided by $9,000, which is 0.88. When CPI is greater than 1, project is considered to be under budget. If it's at 1, project is at budget. And if it's less than 1, it's considered to be over budget. In our case, it's less than 1. That means it's over budget. Similarly, you can use other formulas to calculate the schedule of the project. In this case, by the end of 8 weeks, we were supposed to build 8 cars, but instead, by the end of 8 weeks, we were supposed to build 10 cars, but instead, we only built 8 cars. And the earned value for this, for the earned value is $80,000 minus $100,000, which is the planned value. So now the amount is minus $20,000. So that means that we still have $20,000 of work left to do. So hence, if CV again is greater than, SV again is greater than 0, project is considered to be under budget. If it's at 0, project is considered to be at budget. And if it's less than 0, it's considered to be over budget. In our case, it's less than 0, hence it's over budget. You can similarly use SPI, which is schedule performance index, to calculate or to infer where the schedule is. It's simple again, where earned value upon planned value, and I'll get to the other ES upon 80 later. For this one, it's $80,000 upon $100,000, which is 0.8, which is less than 1, and hence the project is considered to be behind schedule. There is another set of formulas that you can use to calculate the schedule performance. Now, SPI, which uses dollar amount to calculate schedule performance, you can also use days or duration to know if the project is ahead of schedule, behind schedule, or at schedule, or on time. So that formula is ES upon AT, which is earned schedule upon actual time. The amount of time that we have earned to the amount of time that was actually spent doing that work. So just a couple of practice questions here. A project manager is 11 months into a project. The project was supposed to be planned. The project was planned to be completed in 2 years. From a schedule perspective, half of the work has been completed. What is the SPI and project status? You can pause your video here and answer it, but I'll just continue with the solution, which is that we need to find the SPI. Again, because we don't have dollar amount, we would not be using the dollar formulas, but instead we would be using duration formulas, which is earned schedule upon actual time. Now, earned schedule, according to the question, is that half of the project is completed. So that means the total project was 2 years, and half of 2 years is a year or 12 months. And the actual time, so that means the actual time to complete the 12 month of work is 11th month. So using the formula of 12 upon 11, we find out that the SPI is 1.09. Now, when SPI is greater than 1, we say that the project is ahead of schedule. So we choose the option of 1.09, and project is ahead of schedule. Similarly, the next question, where the total planned cost for your project at this stage is $5 million. The actual work that has been completed is worth $4 million. You have already spent $10 million on a project. So let me put it in a very dumb way. The total project cost was $5 million. The amount of work that you have done is just worth $4 million. But just to complete that $4 million of work, you spend $10 million. Again, you can pause your video here and do this question yourself, but I'll move ahead with the solution. So the earned value is 4 million. The actual cost is 10 million, and the planned value is 5 million. To calculate CPI, you do not need plan value. You just need EV upon AC, which is 4 upon 10, which answer is 0.4. So the CPI for this question is less than 1, and hence we will say that the project is over the planned cost, or the project is over budget. So we go ahead, choose that answer, and say that 0.4 and the project is over the planned cost. Now there's more to earned value analysis, especially when it comes to estimate at completion, budget at completion, estimate to completion, and to complete performance index. We will go through those in the next video. So go ahead, subscribe to the channel, and just wait, and I'll be uploading another amazing video on earned value analysis. Thank you, everyone, and take care. Bye-bye.